Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Firstly, I'd like to say thank you to everyone that's been subscribing and commenting on my past videos. There's so much helpful information, and more importantly, I now feel less alone than I did a week ago. I thought I was the only one that was going through this process and was in this financial rut. But that's not the case. And that makes me feel that I'm not alone, which makes me feel a bit better. It makes me feel that there are people out there that can offer advice and help me through my journey of where I'm going. Because to tell you the truth, it's all a bit, where do I go? Today we're going to talk about the journey of my pension payments, and I'd like you to think about that and comment on if I'm thinking in the right way. I don't know if I'm thinking in the right way. I really don't. As Susie and I go for a walk, if I do go abroad, some people have asked, if I do go abroad, Susie will be coming with me. She's midlife, she's 7 years old. She's still got another 7 years at least, I guess, because she's very healthy. And she will be coming with me. I am more than willing to spend £1,000 on taking Susie with me and us, me and the missus. Yeah, so I'm more than willing to do that. I'm not leaving her here in the UK because she is part of the family. Absolutely is part of the family. I don't want to leave the UK, but it just feels that I can't afford to live here. And I don't know if and from some of the comments, it almost feels like other people are in the same situation where they're considering leaving the UK so they can have a better life in an economy that's cheaper than the UK. I don't want to leave the UK, and my skills and experience, just like you, are really important for the UK to continue. But I just feel that I need to take a better control of my finances moving forward and my lifestyle. It's absolutely beautiful out here. What are you doing, girl? What are you doing? You big puppy. Let's get on to the numbers. I've written this down. So currently, I've got 2 more weeks before I leave the business on redundancy. And this is the middle of May 2026. So I've got 2 more weeks before I leave the business on redundancy terms. There is a pension pot of some £55,000, which I'm going to wake up to help me through my journey of 2026 to 2027 and beyond for 7 or 8 years. Morning. Not bad. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thanks.
Good. Exactly. At least it stopped raining. There we are. People are so lovely where I live. They really are so lovely. So let's get the numbers out. So, 59 currently. I have 55,000 as a pot, which could then create a fixed term annuity, which would last 7 or 8 years, depending on which way I go. That annuity works out at about £6,500 a year. So that's basically £500 a month. It does come with a lump sum. It does come with a lump sum of some £13,500. That will help towards my redundancy payment and tide me through well into 2027. In January 2027, I am on my 60th birthday, which means I have a BT pension and an NHS pension that come to light and will be paid from my 60th birthday. I could defer those pensions for a later age, but I'm thinking, who's going to employ a 60-year-old in IT today in the UK when I'm going to be interviewed by a 28-year-old kid? Yeah, it feels like a kid. No disrespect to the kid. But I work with young people right now, and to be fair, whilst they call them IT, they just don't understand the foundations of IT. I was one of those people at school in the 1980s. The end of the 70s, middle of the 1980s, that was classed as a bit of a nerd and played around with Sinclair, ZX Spectrums, Acorns, BBC, Apples, yeah. And I was the quiet nerd that, who sat in the background. I remember the school got their first Apple computer and everybody was looking at it, and me being the quiet nerd, in Sheffield this was, me being the quiet nerd at the back, said, I can write a quick program for you. Guess the number between 1 and 100. So I went on to this Apple 1 or Apple 2 computer, I can't remember, and wrote the program in about 10 minutes. People were looking, hadn't got a clue what I was doing, and that was the teacher, including the kids. They hadn't got a clue. And sure enough, wrote a quick program that said whether you were warm, cold, hot, near the number that the program had randomly generated, and then you'd guess the right number. Yeah, and then it'd go, wow, well done, all that kind of thing. I was that kind of nerd. And even the teachers turned around to me and looked at me and said, how do you know this? And sadly, state education, it's a one-way road. And I'm not it has to be a one-way road. It has to be generic for everybody. It really does have to be generic for everybody. But, how do you know this? Well, I've been playing with computers for a few years now, on Sinclair ZX Spectrums, BBCs, all that kind of crap. Anyway, we digress. We're digressing here. So, when I get to my 60th birthday, January 2027, I've calculated that I believe my pension, annual pension, could be, including this pension that I'm waking up right now of £6,500. My pensions, not my lump sums, my pensions, we'll talk about lump sums in a future video. My pension will be around £19,700 a year. Okay, so that doesn't sound a lot, but £19,700 in the Philippines a year is a good wage. It is a good wage. Tell me if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, you've got to tell me right now. Is £20,000 a year a good wage in the Philippines? Let's go up this hill. Come on, Susie. Come on. You've got to tell me right now, because if I'm not calculating this correctly, then I'm going to end up moving over somewhere and ending up bankrupt and on the street. And I don't want that, because I've been there before in my divorce of 2015 through 2017. Don't want to do that. So tell me if I'm wrong. Is £20,000 something that you can survive on in the Philippines? When it comes to purchasing a property in the Philippines, that comes out of the details in a future video from the lump sum details. I need a property because I'm currently in rented accommodation based on the aftermath of a divorce of 10 years ago. It takes 10 years to recover from a divorce. However, so I'm told. Not sure about that. That's another future video. So, 19,700, let's say 20,000. I won't be stopping working. With the success of this YouTube channel, I suspect that by a year's time, there'll be some revenue coming from this YouTube channel, which will also help me. So I'm thinking, I've also got another YouTube channel that's doing really well, 10,000 subscribers. But this is a different channel. I'm also thinking that by 2027, I could be earning somewhere in the region of £400 UK pounds a month from YouTube. Maybe a bit less. Let's be cautious, say £300 a month. Now I suspect £300 a month in the Philippines is a sort of good wage. So if it was £300 a month, that's £3,000 a year, let's just say. So that's £20,000 pension plus £3,000. That's £23,000 at the age of 60-ish. Yeah, from pensions and other revenue generators. I don't want to stop working. I do need to do something. I'm not one of these that want to stop and just watch television for the rest of my life and sit in front of a television. My other love and passion is motorcycles at this moment in time. So if I go over to the Philippines, I'm going to get a nice scooter. Yeah, probably not a motorcycle, a nice Honda scooter. So we've already figured out that we're going to be on 23,000 per annum, including YouTube revenue. And maybe other things as well. I could do other work, contract work, in my field, which is IT, more management than coding now, because all the coding goes off to India. But I could offer myself a really good rate, £100 a day. Could easily offer that. Anyway, that's another subject. We'll not include that. I'm going for what is in effect a worse scenario. You tell me if I'm wrong. £23,000 per annum. In the Philippines. Is that enough? Let's assume the mortgage is paid. There's no mortgage. Well, the camera just rebooted. So, we were talking about getting to 60 to 65 on some, let's say, £24,000. At 65, I get another pension that starts of an extra £1,600 a year. So that rises it up to about 25,000, £25,500. I should be able to survive there. Bearing in mind I should be slowing down. I should be slowing down. Yeah, I should be. You okay there, Susie? Good girl. When I get to 67, the pension that I'm starting right now, that £55,000 that turns into a fixed term annuity, that will stop. So if I'm on 25,000, well, 24,000, let's say, minus £6,000, because that's not going to rise in regarding pension increase or whatever. So 24,000 minus 6,000, 18,000 or thereabouts. But at 67, my £12,500 pension of today, yeah, it may be bigger in the future, will start up. Some of these geese are magnificent, flying around super low. So we've got, let's say, £18,500 plus £12,500. So that's 18, 19, 31,000, £30,000. Surely I must be able to survive in the Philippines with that kind of money at 67. If I get to 67. Remember, my lifestyle is not particularly great. Average age of parents plus 6 years. Same lifestyle. But if I continue, and now I'm starting to think, actually, if I continue beyond 67, maybe I ought to stop smoking. If I was on £30,000 a year in the Philippines in 7 years' time, yeah? So that's 2034. Then maybe I could actually continue having a reasonable life. Tell me if I'm wrong. If these numbers are wrong, yeah, and living in the Philippines or Thailand or wherever, just tell me if I'm wrong. So much information has come through in the comments, it's unbelievable. So much good information. I really need to knuckle down and start looking at things in a different way. I never thought I'd be here. I thought I really do love my work. And I thought I'd just keep on working and working and working. Never thought about stopping working in IT. Never thought about it. How bizarre. How bizarre. I hope you enjoyed the video. All your comments are read. I try to respond to all of them. I'm a bugger for not responding to comments in a timely manner. I am a sod. I need to be more akin to responding to videos, but I tend to think about things a lot and let things stew, and then I'll respond. I do read all of them. Thank you for watching the video. It's a really interesting subject. I am assured or reassured that I'm not the only one that's in this predicament. Interesting times ahead. Thank you for watching the video if you got this far. If you did get this far and you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. If you are subscribed, thank you very much. Give the video a like and share on to someone that may well be in the same sort of situation as me. See you soon. Bye bye. Come on, Susie. Do you want some breakfast? Come on, girl.